Uh, I can't hear you if you're talking.
You can't hear me?
Can't hear you.
I was just on a bunch of calls this morning. Check one, check two, check one, check two. Let me do a sound check here. Test speak. Oh, check one. I can hear that. Check one, check two, check one, check two. Okay, so I did an audio test and it works on my side. Audio.
Hi, Jay. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Is that Martha?
Martha, yeah.
Okay, cool. So Paul, maybe the setting is not right on
You're
your
very
audio.
low.
Can you hear me?
Extremely low.
Can you guys, is my volume too low for the rest of you guys?
Yes.
It is low?
Now you're good. Now I can hear you.
Is my volume low though?
No, it's perfect now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, perfect. Okay, gotcha. Okay, welcome to our sales psychology masterclass. Today is November the 13th, and we just passed through Remembrance Day. So we want to just take time to honor and remember those who have served and gave their time and their lives for us. And today we're going to be talking about something very special. We talk about sales a lot. We talk about sales psychology a lot. One thing that we don't do enough of is, mastering our craft in sales. And part of that involves, practicing our reps and even understanding how the sales psychology of the calls work. I'm on a new part-time sales closer, high ticket role right now. And I've had over a dozen calls. And I'm learning a ton, by being back in the trenches and talking to people who are, people who are scared, people who, are really struggling to make decisions, people who are in paralysis. And it's been a wonderful, what's a word, experience for me in the last 2 weeks. One thing I've noticed really has been really powerful is that when you guys are selling and when you guys are on your offers or selling, your product, your offer, your service, your coaching, I find that if we don't really get to the pain and evoke an emotion. So yes, we talk about, the sales coaches and sales scripts and all this stuff. And people are like, yeah, talk about their pain, talk about them and, get it all out. And I teach that all the time. One thing that is of imperative importance is, have you really drawn out the pain to the point where you have evoked an emotion? So the one lady I was literally just talking on the call right now with, and I love again, is that she was like admittedly saying she could not share an emotion and she can't remember the last time she cried. And she even says, I don't cry and I don't cry in public. And I said, that's interesting. And I just said to her, why don't you let yourself cry? And she goes, I don't know. I have no idea why. Right. And I know that part of, evoking emotion and tears is part of the self-awareness and healing process. So my role as someone who can help guide her through is to help her reach a point of self-awareness and evoke an emotion that's based on the pain. For example, if she's struggling with ADHD, but she has not been able to solve that problem, and she knows she hasn't been able to solve that problem in over 30 years, but she doesn't have any emotion or she doesn't have any feeling about it. She's kind of numb. Then I don't think I've done my job properly. So my role in that call just before this, masterclass was, how do I dig deeper into the pain? And I'm going to share with you how, like peeling layers of a fresh onion, not only did it evoke an emotion, she cried for the first time in decades. And I'm not saying, yay, I got her to cry, or, I won. I'm not talking about that. It's not about that. It's just, I really helped someone today through the healing process. And her objection right at the front was, this sounds really expensive and I don't have any money and I can't afford this. So by handling the objection up front, I just said, if you don't have a dime to rub between your fingers, then I don't want to waste your time. However, if you do have, money or credit, because a lot of times we don't really believe that we have the money, but we actually do. And we rationalize by saying we can't do this because of, and there's usually a fear behind it, or it's not going to work, or I've been burned in the past. But people are willing to buy a $1,500 iPhone 17 on the very same day that does nothing for them except waste their time. Right. So that's the rationalization of like, I can't afford this, you know, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 coaching program that's going to change my life, but I'd rather pay $1,500 for something that I'm going to entertain myself with. So that doesn't make any sense, right? So I like to uncover what I call the Sales Ninja Doctor Framework script. It's been just a beautiful vantage point of selling without selling. So I had people yesterday giving their MasterCard. The girl at the very end of the call was like, I don't have the money, but I want to find the money. So that's a different thing, right? That's a different standpoint of the vantage point of where we started. I can't do this. I'm fearful of doing this. I don't know if it's going to work, and I don't have the money. And I just said, if we can show you a way forward, and if you find the value in it, the price becomes a moot point. The investment is, think about it. You are the best investment in yourself, which is why, you know, I'm betting on myself all the time, every day. Right. And if you don't believe that, then we're here to help you to believe that. And that's what we ended off with. So we're going to do a follow-up call at 5 p.m. She's going to find money because she knows how valuable this is. And people will find money when they find gold, or they find a treasure in a that they need to uncover, if that makes sense. So today's lesson is called the Ultimate Sales Ninja Doctor Framework script. I worked long and hard, and I've evolved this, you know, hundreds and hundreds of times. So this is just a refined version of it. You get the, you know, the lemonade from the lemon. Okay. So this will teach you to train like a closer, close like a warrior, and serve like Jesus. So we don't want to forget, you know, we're here. Selling is serving. Selling is leadership. It's not this salesy, sleazy used car sales thing, you know. So are we going to make that payment in full, or are we going to do financial payments every single month with interest? You should do the full because you're going to save money and it's a better deal. I'll make more commissions. Oh, did I say that out loud? Right? So give first. The GLASS method is give first, listen well. This is an acronym. Ask open, piercing questions, sincerely handle objections up front, and serve with humility. Okay. If you want this document, comment 1, and I can give it to you. Comment 1 if you want this. And JM, when you do your workshop, this is how you're going to interact with people, right? And you can be patient and say, hey, there's no one that said 1. I guess you don't want this resource. Or if there's like, you know, let's say there's 30 people in the room and you only see 3 people putting 1s, and you're like, hey, I really want you guys to be excited about this. So I'm looking for at least 20 people that say 1, right? So I'm going to keep going until I get that number. Okay. So I've got everyone in this room except for my fathoms to say yes. Okay. So you have this micro yes. It's NLP programming, right? Neurolinguistic. So the micro yeses, the nodding, you know, you want to have all these little wins and these dopamine hits throughout your workshop, Jam. Okay. Which is what I'm doing here. So there are several phases. I think there's 9 phases in this. 9 phases, and then objection handling. Guys, this is so exciting. I am so excited to share this because the way that this works, it has been just like clockwork. Okay. And, you know, when you're in the call as a sales, you know, either closer or a founder of a company, selling is, like I mentioned, serving, and serving is leadership. And I want you to think of, if you're a doctor, right, and a patient is coming to you, right? You know, the doctors don't usually say, hey, Jam, thanks for coming to the, you know, the hospital today. Or they don't you into the medical clinic today. They don't usually say that. They're like, how can I help you? They're like right to the point, right? A great doctor doesn't hope for a diagnosis. He uncovers truth. So we're not looking for a sale. We're not looking for a sale. We're actually truth tellers. You know, a doctor, their goal is not to persuade you to choose them to do surgery on your brain. Their role as a medical professional is to tell you that you've got a problem that needs to be solved. Okay. So that's why the framing of a doctor framework is completely different from a sales person that has been trained by all these overnight gurus, right? detach yourself. And this is the call prep, the mindset. Okay. So before you get on a call, you can take the first 2 minutes before the call, take a deep breath and say, I'm detaching myself emotionally from the yes, which means I'm not trying to push for the yes. I'm not trying to go for the sale. Right. I got a person angry the other day because I said, I'm not here to close you. I'm not here to make a sale. I'm here to help you make a transformation in your life. And if it's not a good fit, if you're not coachable, as I said in the beginning, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, and it's not a good fit. And right now, you just don't seem coachable right now. I'm just going to call it out. Call a spade a spade. And they got mad. And they said, well, all these different reasons. I'm like, and that's the reason why you haven't been getting the results that you've been looking for, because you keep on putting these different excuses and these different reasons, and you justify them by calling them something. But to me, it's BS. And that's why you wouldn't be a good fit. Okay. And be okay to disqualify people, because you gain more respect. And people say, whoa, okay, whoa, I'm willing to listen. If you're that upfront and truthful, I appreciate that. No one's ever talked to me like that way. No one's ever told me the truth. They just told me what I want to hear, not what I need to hear. Intercom, centered, spirit-led. One of my sales coaches, she's bubbly, she's charismatic like me. I'm a people pleaser, or used to be a people pleaser, and I'm a talker. I'm a chatterbox. And so I usually say, hey, Paul, thanks for jumping the call. Where are you calling from today? Right? That's how I usually start the call. She does this. And I thought to myself, why would you bite your pen? And she says, I have to stop myself from being the cheery chatterbox that becomes their friend. Because when you're in the friend zone, usually in relationships, you just remain friends. But in a sales call, you don't want to be their friend. You want to be the doctor. They are the patient. Okay. I'm here to serve, not to sell. I'm here to serve, not to sell. Let's just say that right now 3 times. I'm here to serve, not to sell. I'm here to serve, not to sell. One more time. I'm here to serve, not to sell. That's another thing you can do, JM, in your workshop, is get people to, I want to grow a faceless Instagram brand. I want to grow a face, and then you can do, okay, great. Now let's do, I want to monetize an Instagram page. I want to monetize an Instagram page. And then you can say, who here wants freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, freedom for flexibility in your schedule. And you say, freedom, let's go. I'll say freedom on the count of 3, freedom. And they're like, oh, they're not excited. I'm like, I didn't feel the energy. Let's do that one more time. I want you guys to say freedom on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, freedom. And now you have like all these Braveheart people like, yeah, they're like dopamine hit. They're like excited. They're like, let's go. And without even starting the presentation, the workshop, you're like, you've already got yeses. Like, let's go, guys. Let's make this happen. You want to quit your 9-to-5 job? You want to fire a lazy boss? You want to live life on your own terms? You want to make thousands of dollars of passive income? Let's go. Are you excited, guys? Put a number 1 in the comments. Put a number 1 if you're excited. You're ready to, guys. Put a number 1 in the comment right now. Show me that you're excited to do this. Yes, Paul. Paul's excited. He's number 1. Martha is number 1. Okay. So the opening and the frame of the call. Framing, for those of you who don't know what that means, like the house, you have to have a frame. You have to have a dig deep to have the foundation, and then you put up the frame, which is the concrete, and then it's the pillars, right? And everything else is just kind of putting stuff on top. Framing the call in sales is like leading the conversation. Some people call it control. Some people don't like the word control because that sounds abusive and manipulative, but that's a word that's been tainted by bad people. Control is not a bad thing. Leadership, if you're doing it right, you're actually in control, but you're also letting go of control in different ways. So there's a push and pull, but there's a finessing of that. So instead of saying, hey, Paul, like, where are you from? Excited to have you on the call. Like a doctor, like they say, hey, Paul, excited to dive in. Here's how today works. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. If I think I can help, just show you what this looks like. And you can ask questions and we'll decide together if this is a fit. Fair? And they always say yes, right? You can say, is there anyone else here that needs to make decisions on the call? So now you're handling objections up front. Because if at the very end, it's really, really good, And then they drop down the objection of, oh, I need to talk to a spouse. I need to talk to a partner. I need to talk to a wife or a husband. Then it's like, oh, okay, then now how do you handle that, right? So up front, I'm just saying, hey, Jam, is there anyone else here that helps you make decisions on these calls? If so, do they need to be here, right? And they say, yeah, my girlfriend needs to be here. My puppy needs to be here. All these different things. And I'm saying, okay, great. Why don't we open our calendars? And I do a 3x3, which is 3 dates and 3 times. Okay, 3x3. 3 dates, 3 times. Okay, so I'll say, hey, does Friday, Monday, Tuesday at 9, 10, or 11 work for you? So now I'm giving them 9 options within like 3 seconds. So it makes it really hard to say, yeah, I'm not available for any of those dates or times. Okay, so just want to make sure that girlfriend's going to be there. Can you make sure that she's going to be there Monday at 11 a.m. EST, as you mentioned before? And you said, and you get them to say a verbal yes. And can you make sure that you guys are in an undistracted, quiet space? I canceled a call today because the girl that I was talking to this morning at 8 a.m., she was in her car driving and she's not focused. So I said, you need to be in a quiet space with strong internet and a laptop. And so she said, okay. So we booked for tomorrow, same time. Okay. And be okay to that because it's a waste of time if you take people who are distracted. Okay. Phase 3, discover the pain. PPDD framework. Okay. Pain, problem, desire, dreams. So what made you book this call today, Jam? Why do you want to solve this problem of quitting your 9 to 5? Right. Then drill deeper. So what hurts the most about working 9 to 5? And, why not just stay in your 9 to 5? You said you have a pretty decent salary. And then they go into like, well, I'm being overlooked. I'm promoted in the last 6 years. And other people who have been working for me have actually surpassed me. And I'm reporting to them. And I can't tell you how it feels every single day. The misery, misery, misery. I feel like my life is an absolute blah because I'm reporting to people that I've trained. And do you know how demoralizing that is? Every single day, even though I make a 6-figure salary, I don't want to have to work for people that I've trained. Every single day feels like a failure. Oof. Shock to the heart, you're to blame. You give love a bad name. Ouch, that hurts. How does that make you feel? That you train someone and you're working for them, you're reporting to them, they're telling you how to do your job. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I just want to throw up and throat punch them and leave the room. Like, I can't even tell you and the anxiety and the stress that I feel. Like, I get mini panic attacks every time they're doing a performance review for me, when I was the one that was doing that for them for 3 years. Now we flip roles. I can't stay where I'm at. So what do you want to do instead then? Where do you want to be? What does life look like when this is all fixed? So the lady that I was talking to, she wants to take her aging mom to Africa. She wants to take her 14-year-old son. She wants to be able to afford braces. She wants to help him get a new bike, right? So I went through all those things. And what happens if that doesn't happen? That you can't get the bike or braces or take your mom to Africa? You know what she said? Sadness. I feel sadness. Tell me more about that. What does sadness mean? And we boil it down. We got down to the root issue. And she goes, that I am a failure. I am a failure. That's when the pipes burst. How does it make you feel if you're a failure? Well, I feel like that my life is just meaningless and that there's nothing left to do. And I have no fuel or gas in the tank to do anything else. I don't feel like I'm young anymore to start this over again. She's in her 50s. I don't have the energy right now. I'm just paralysis by analysis. Every priority feels like the same priority. Even though I have a list of 20 things, they're equally as important. I just can't get past this mind block. Tell me more about the mind blocks. Tell me more about those tasks. Jam, what happens if nothing changes? Martha, what's the cost of staying here another 6 months? I can no longer stay here another day, let alone 6 months. Don't even talk about that far ahead. I am literally feeling like I'm dying in my each day, how does that make you feel? Sad, fearful, depressed. Okay, I fully get it. So you're telling me that you're feeling paralysis, you've been procrastinating, you've not been doing the things that you're supposed to do, you're lacking focus. Anything else that I've missed, Martha? I usually get, no, you've hit everything. Okay. So tell me more about your business. Tell me about where you're at in your business. Tell me about, what's missing. If we could wave a magic wand, where do you want to be in 12 months? Well, I'm at 15K months and I used to be at 50K months. So I want to get back to that baseline of 50K months. Why that goal? Well, because I feel like I failed myself in my business because I haven't been doing the work that I've been supposed to do. I've lost clients because I haven't been able to fulfill and show up because I'm so stuck in my own head. What changes for you personally if you can reach and when you can reach that 50K month? Well, I can actually finally buy a bike for my son. I can actually get him the braces that he's been asking for. I can actually provide Christmas gifts and take my mom to Africa and go take my son to Italy and Greece. So you're currently at 15K and you want to go to 50K, but if nothing changes, you stay at this place of sadness and feeling like a failure. That's a huge cost, right? You have no idea. I cannot live any longer like this. I need to solve this right now. These are things I'm sharing that as I'm role playing as a monologue. These are things that I'm hearing people say in the last 10, 12 calls. I'm just summarizing exactly what they've said. I've done about 28% of talking on my calls. I've got the Fathom recorder, 28%. That's pretty hard to do, guys, for someone who's a chatterbox like myself, because I'm just doing this. That's a huge cost, right? And then look, pause, let it land. I can fill words like you do not believe. I can fill conversations when people are socially awkward like no man can, no woman can. It's easy for me. But I'm just like, I bite my tongue and I let them talk. And then they go ramble, ramble, ramble. They talk, they talk. I said, do you see how ADHD, you've gone on a rabbit trail and I'm going to rope you back in. That's how severe your condition is. Jay, and we talked about, that guy who's, been posting every single day for 3 years and he hasn't gone a single follower. Do you realize how big of a problem that is? That with the amount of work and the hundreds of hours that you put in and it's doing absolutely nothing. How does that make you feel? I feel like, and they swear, bleep and bleep and bleep. I feel like, I have no value to add. I have no voice. I have no authority. I feel like a loser. So why haven't you solved this yet? What's held you back? What's going to be different this time if you join my program? Because if you're not coachable and you're not going to implement the strategies, then it's not going to work for you either. I'm making it hard for them. Okay, guys? I'm actually disqualifying them so that I can qualify them. So are you committed to solving this problem right now, Paul? Are you sure? Just want to make sure you're ready to make the change. Why now? Get them to have ownership. This evokes such a strong emotion and they're like, yes, I want this. I can no longer live without this. I have to get this solved right now. That's literally what they're saying on the calls when I ask them this. So based on everything you shared, Martha, I know exactly how we can help. Want me to walk you through it? Absolutely. 100% of the time, yes. Okay. For your goals, there's 3 options, but option B, if you have three options, or maybe there's only one option, and that's okay. Following and joining the Instagram Freedom Mentorship Program makes the most sense because it solves the problem of trying to post every single day for 3 years, not getting a single follower. You're going to make my job easy. In the next 30 days, you're going to see your account blow up. How much? I don't know, but let me share a couple of case studies with you. One of my clients was able to generate 500,000 views in the last 30 days. One of her posts, and I'm going to show you with a screen share, one went viral doing 150,000 views from one video. Here's another case study from Paul, who didn't know what social media was. We put a first post on his and he was able to generate over 83,000 views in the first 48 hours. This is someone who's behind you that doesn't even know how to use social media. If you've been doing this every single day for 3 years and this guy doesn't even know how to use it, and in 48 hours, he got 100 million, 1,000, billion times more engagement than you, don't you think that you can do this as well? So for everything we discussed, Martha, the investment is $12,000. We have a couple of options depending on how you want to move forward, right? And I do an anchor in one of my offers, and I say, so it's $12,000. But for people who want to make a decision right now, we actually take off $4,000 so that it becomes only $8,000 or 2 payments of $4,000. But for most of our clients that enroll, we actually do something very special. We do a special fast action pricing where if you decide right now on this call, we take off an additional $1,000, making it only $7,000 or 2 payments of $4,000, whichever supports you better. And just shut up. So many people that I've trained. Would you like a 12 payment plan? Would you like a 36 payment plan? Would you like a, instead of paying $7,000, you can do $100 over the next 20,000 years. They go there because they're fearful that they're not going to come in, close, or afford it. I just be quiet.
I do a quick question from my side. So
Yeah.
for example, in the workshops, I'm doing the price drop. So it's all so the value of 10,000, but today you're not paying 10,000, not even half of it. Normally this is $3,000 for the people outside of the workshop, etc., etc. Today you get it for only $997 or 2 installments of $597. And then I stop there, but the slide just after I have the fast action bonus. So should I make like just a few seconds stop, and then I tell them, and on top, success loves speed. On top of all of that, if the core was not enough, if all the bonuses are not enough, if the crazy guarantee and the 90% done for you is not enough, there is even more on this. I want to reward the people who take action fast. So no. And I continue directly. I just wait 3-5 seconds.
Yes. So yes, and yes, because when you said it the first time, the tempo could be better. I know you're just saying it because you're explaining it to me, but in an actual presentation or a call, I'm going to share with you and show you in real time how I would recommend saying it. Okay. I have your workshop loading up in the Canvas slide, so I'll just show that in just a minute. So let me just finish here and then I'll answer that and address it. Okay. Great question though.
Perfect.
So far, everything we discussed, the investment is $12,000, and I, did an price anchor. I brought it down by 4,000 for people who make a decision at 8,000 or 2 payments of 4,000. Or for people, most of our clients, they like to do it in 1 payment, and we do a fast action bonus where we incentivize them and reward them for taking massive imperfect action. So we take an additional $1,000 off. So it only becomes, I'm saying it fast, but I would slow down and say, so it'd only be $1,000 off, making it only 7,000 or 2 payments of $4,000, whichever. I had one guy the other day that waited, I think 30 seconds. It felt like a lifetime, right? And normally most people would be like, break that silence. Did you hear what I said? The silence is like deafening, if that makes sense. And he's like, are you waiting for me to answer? I'm like, you asked me for the, I gave it to you. And in my inside commentary is, what else are you thinking? Right. Okay. So a couple objections, because there's objections are going to come all the time. And they're going to come more if you don't know how to handle them up front. Okay. So one very common objection is, I need to talk to my spouse or partner. I get that a lot. Absolutely. So instead of going balls and horns saying, we got on this call because we wanted to help you make this decision. You said this was a 10 out of 10. So, your wife or your your husband, they should support you in this. This is a decision that you need to make as, the leader of the house or the decider of your future. And then this is, manipulation and pressure and all this stuff that doesn't feel good, right? So instead of going against them, I say, absolutely. It's so important that you talk to them. That shows honor and integrity. If you were going to talk to your girlfriend, JM, and if they said yes, would you be 100% ready? Now I'm asking, if all the roadblocks are gone and your girlfriend who loves you and supports you says yes, are you ready to take the action? So I'm actually qualifying them even though they're objecting. And I said, most spousal objections are fear wearing a ring, right? So do they trust your judgment on things that matter? Would this help you provide more or create stability? Like I said to them, a person the other day, or yesterday actually it was, I said, you mentioned that your wife said that you should get on this call. So the reason why you're on this call is because your wife, and you're asking for a wife approval. Okay. So what was the word that you said? Let's call him, JM. What was the word that you said that your wife said about you being on this call? And then he said that it's awesome that I'm on this call. So what part of support or getting, her, talking to her is the challenge here? Because I'm not seeing a real issue with her support, her ability to allow you to have the permission to make a decision on your own. He goes, yeah, you're right. And then he put a MasterCard through. And then the thing was, because it was a certain amount, there was a verification code that had to go to her text message. And she works in like a government or something. And she was in a meeting. She got the code, gave it to him. And then there was another flag for another code that she had to get, but she was also in another meeting. So it was like, I literally, even when I get the spousal objection, I'll be like, hey, so is your wife in the house right now? Or is your husband in the house right now? Some of them say yes, some of them say no. I woke up a pregnant wife in LA on a different offer. Woke her up, she was pissed. And I said, before you, throw a plate, this is what your husband wants. And I'm not trying to, sell you or convince you against your own volition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have JM share with you what his idea and his passion is for the solution that he wants to get, that he's been longing for. So now what I do, instead of me selling the pregnant lady who is pissed from being woken up from a nap, is the husband or the boyfriend is saying, hey, babe, this is what we talked about. So he's recapping and he's selling her. Literally, this is what happened. She was in the room. She was listening to him. And then she walked away from the camera. And we were both like, and then he broke the silence saying, hey, babe, everything okay? What's going on? She goes, yeah, I told you I'm supporting you. Just do your thing. Be a man, do the right thing. Right. And so that was a sale. Right. Yesterday, I said, she was working. So so he tried calling her, couldn't get her, texted her, but she was in a meeting. So I'm doing whatever I can to hold that frame and to hold that space, because once you let it go, the likelihood of it ever closing is very, very, very low. You got to be a master at holding the frame and holding the conversation and holding the person. It's like if JM and I are on a cliff and he's falling and I'm holding on to him, and he says, I gotta go think about it, or I need to let go and talk to my wife. Right? And I'm literally on this canyon where he's going to take a 75-foot drop. This is what you need to think in your mindset, sales psychology, of like, if I let this person go, they're going to plummet and never come back. It's just like, as a person of faith and a pastor, and when we talk about evangelism and sharing my faith, I knew that this would be the first and probably the last time I'll ever see them in my entire life. So I treat every call the same way. If Paul comes in me and, he's giving me all this, objections, and he was wanting to exit, I know that this is probably going to be the first and last time I'll ever see him. Practically speaking, it's true, right? For the idea and the possibility of me bumping into him in my lifetime is almost impossible, pretty much zero. So it's like me holding that hand of that person that's on the cliff, and I'm saying, I'm not going to let you go because I love you too much to let you suffer in the pain that you've talked about. Does that make sense, guys? Like, I'm not doing it because I'm trying to make a sale. I'm doing it because I know that I can help them. I'm doing it because I know that without this solution, they're going to continue to suffer in pain, in depression, in poverty, in, you know, mental illness, et cetera, whatever your solution is. Okay. So sometimes people stay in painful patterns because it's familiar, like a friend stuck in an unhealthy relationship. So think about like the cliff example, right? Illustration. And another example is if you think about your friends in a terrible abusive relationship, either marriage or even physically or mentally or verbally or emotionally abusive, and you know that your friend's in a very, very bad relationship. So the way that I treat the call is I'm going to treat, even though you're a perfect stranger, that I'm a friend and I know that you're in a terrible relationship that's super unhealthy. And I'm going to talk to you in a way that says, I'm not buying your BS and what your rationalization. And I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, even if it hurts you, because I love you too much to let you stay the same, right? I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to tell you the truth, right? And there's different things that, you know, you can say, like these one-liners or whatever. Your current business pattern is hurting you. If you don't change it, the pain continues. This isn't about permission for your wife or your spouse. It's about freedom. Do you want freedom in your life? Really want freedom? Because you can unlock that right now. You can unlock that today. The decision that you make can happen in the next 30 seconds that can unlock the path and the way forward. But that's on you. Are you ready for freedom? Are you ready to bet on yourself? The best investment. So I let them in that. Some people might be like cringing right now because socially and mentally holding that frame is very like challenging. And for some of you who relationally just that you're not wired that way, it'd be like, oh, just let them go. Try not to be so, I don't know, try not to hold it for that long. But I'm the kind of person that, you know, I'm going to hold you and I'm going to love you to death. Okay. So you can invite them, the spouse, so that everyone feels aligned. I need to pray about it the other day. Okay. So I love that. I love that you're a person of faith, Paul. Martha, I know that you are a person of faith and you want to pray about it. And I think that's amazing. So are you praying about whether to do it or how to move forward? Right? What are you praying about? Sometimes the answer is the opportunity in front of you. You know, this is a faith-based space. Want to pray briefly for clarity? I can say this because I was a pastor. I mean, you don't need to be a pastor to pray for people, but it kind of helps sometimes. Right. And I prayed with so many people. Right. I helped a person who was like completely broke that wanted to come to the program. She wanted to pray. I prayed with her. I said, why don't we apply for an Amex Blue Card, 0% financing for 15 months? She got approved in 3 minutes for $10,000. You know what she said after that? She said, I need to pray about it. I gave her $10,000. And I'm just like, you know, I've had people do that where they've gotten credit and they've used it to either spend it foolishly or to pay other debt because they have new credit instead of unlocking their freedom. This is the brokenness of humanity, guys. I'm telling you, right? And that person that unlocked that 10K, which was I think yesterday, day before yesterday, she didn't even enroll yet, and she's praying about it. I'm like, I don't know how many more signs you need. You're getting a breakthrough. You've gotten money that you didn't have, and there's a way forward. You've been stuck in a cycle that's been hurting you for the last 30 years. God may be giving you an exit from that pattern right now. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't make decisions on the call. I never make decisions on the call. I need to think about it. That's smart. Let's think through it together, Jam. What specifically do you need to think about? Like, did I miss something? Is it the fit? Is it the finances? Or are there other fears that you haven't mentioned? And they unlock the real issue behind the time, smoke and mirror, right? I have people that, you know, rationalize and say, well, is the program going to really work for me? The call just before this call was like, you know, what kind of results have you guys been getting? Am I going to be able to get the results? And I said to her, the issue is not whether we have enough results. We've got hundreds of clients. We've got hundreds of testimonials. You've seen a 17-minute video that has, you know, dozens of video testimonials and case studies. The real issue is not whether or not we're good enough to help you. I think the real issue, if I can just be candid, is whether or not you believe you can get that transformation. We're committed to it. Just, do you think I can? I don't think I can. I know we can. Whether you can, that's another issue. You already have all the information. What's the reference going to help you do? What's another testimonial that we've already shared with you going to do? Really? Like, the issue is your own belief system. That's the real question that you need to solve. Do you believe, JM, Paul, do you believe that you can help yourself get this solution when we help you walk through this with our program, with our mentorship, with our case studies? You know, thinking is what kept your business in the same painful pattern. You know, you mentioned you went from 50,000 all the way down to 15,000, some months 5,000 and some months 0. It's like a friend staying in a toxic relationship because they want to, quote unquote, think about it, but they know that what they're in is actually a trap. It's toxic, it's poisonous, it's cancerous, it's killing them. And guess what? Action to step out in faith is the actual escape from getting out of that pain, getting out of that poison, and being in a healthier space to achieve freedom. Isn't that what you joined the call for? You said you're tired of being stuck. Do you want to lead with who you've been, or who the 2.0 version of you is, or who God's calling you to be? Okay, so objection number 4 is too expensive. I don't have the money. I totally get it. Many clients felt the same. This is the lady that I was talking to. Remember, she said she had no money. And then she's now trying to get credit to come back at 5 o'clock because she found the value. She found the treasure buried in the ground. Now she's going to go look for the money to go unlock that treasure. The real question, Jim, is what's the cost of not fixing this? Your business was at $600,000 and now you're struggling to make ends meet. There's a big cost to this. It's costing you more than $600,000. You're losing over $50,000 a month. Fixing this pays for itself. If you knew this would work, would money still be the issue? Doesn't it become a moot point? And I shared that with her and she goes, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Staying in the same place financially is what's hurting you, Martha. You're in a relationship with a pattern that's abusing your income. Breaking that cycle requires a different decision. So why don't we explore payment options? Want to see what's possible? And then I did the same thing. And she said, yeah, let's see what's possible. Let's see what payment options there are. And the third payment option is one thing that she might be able to do, but she's got to find the credit for that. Okay. So the rest you can read on your own. Let me just see. I think I have a call at the top of the hour. So I'm just trying to be respectful of our time here. Give me 1 second. Okay, JM. Okay. I'm going to go through your thing because I promised I would go through that. So if you guys are free in the next hour at 12 p.m. EST, please join JM's Instagram Freedom Workshop, where he built Instagram followers of almost 2 million followers, 1.8 million followers in a very short time. One thing I actually would like you to put, JM, like as a hook, is welcome to the Instagram Freedom Workshop, where I quit my 9-to-5 and grew almost 2 million on Instagram and generate, let's say 4K a month or whatever, or 1 to 4K a month in passive income type of thing. Because the money part is part of it, is it not? It is, right?
Okay, in this kind of subtitle.
Yeah, because as you said,
Okay.
the money part was the strongest motivator, but I don't see that
Yes.
in this first page. So you want to hook them.
Okay. Yeah, for me it was underlying with my 9-to-5.
So when I'm going to a live and I see people, if I don't see that anchor right away, I just actually scroll past it. Okay. And that's what people might do. They might like be there and then they might, you know, leave the room. You don't necessarily need to put 9 months because there's so many words here. Just say,
Yeah,
you can
well,
start with,
that's the thing, because if I put the 9 months, like the amount I was generating after 9 months was $3,000.
just
But
say,
now it's more.
just say quit my 9 to 5 so that we can save words. Just delete everything before or how I quit. Just say quit in capital Q. 9 to 5. And then, you know, like the, what do you call that? The straight, you know, when you do on the bios, the straight line, like you do.
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
Yeah. Quit my 9 to 5 and then put that, whatever you call that thing, the line. No, that's, yeah. 1.8 million M plus followers, IG followers. Okay, and then yeah, and the next one is how much income, how much have you made collectively if you added everything together?
Yeah, I will need to check this one.
Okay,
20,
so
30.
okay, so for now you can say, you know, 4K per month. I don't know if you call it passive income or whatever, but 4K per month. Yeah, thanks to Instagram Faces pages. That's way better. So people who are looking to quit, to grow, and to monetize, that's all said right there. Okay, well done. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the end because of time's sake. I've already reviewed your stuff several times, so let's see here. What slide do I need to go here, right? Okay, so you get all this. Great job on this edit. Okay, so really, really well done.
Thank you.
Checklist looks
JM, what
clean,
did you
clear.
use to print to do this PowerPoint? Did you use Gamma?
Canva.com is what JM used.
Canva? I mean, to actually have it all this lined. Canva did all of this for you? You didn't have to do like a PowerPoint?
No, I did it.
Okay.
So Canva is very powerful. Yeah, but you have to create
actually,
it.
my girlfriend helped.
Okay, you create it with a template. It's like PowerPoint, but much more powerful.
Okay.
Gamma is different in the sense that it pretty much builds and creates it for you from scratch to end. But this is more customized, and you can still customize Gamma. Anyways, what you
Sorry.
go back here. So you're gonna go through all the stuff. 5K per month blueprint. Good. So what do you get? Okay, so I wouldn't say unique bonuses on top. I would say like a fast action bonus or
Okay. But these ones are like the normal bonuses. The fast action bonus is the lifetime access to the videos.
So Instagram freedom bonuses. You know how I've said to you in the videos that I've meant to you is I'm always anchoring the brand and the program. So Instagram freedom bonuses, right? And forget that on top. Just so Instagram freedom bonuses. Okay. So while you fix that, I'm gonna go to the next slide. So even more crazy stuff included. So I would call it something like multiplier, Instagram freedom multiplier bonuses, right? So I'm anchoring the brand, the name, and then I'm branding the bonus by saying Instagram freedom and then bonus multipliers, or sorry, multiplier bonus. So I'm marketing that, right? If that makes sense. Versus saying
I will not put this one yet, so that I stick to the script that I'm fluent with.
That's fine.
Because it's multiplier. I know for me it will not be natural, so I will kind of stutter on it.
Done for your product, crazy guarantee. You do okay, good. You get the step-by-step stuff. Value 10,676. Good. So in this program, the Instagram Freedom Mentorship, the founder offer, which is a limited time offer for limited spots. So I'm already creating scarcity, right? That can be either in your notes or it could be in there as well, showing how many spots. The total value for this, as I mentioned earlier, is 10,676. And you get all this stuff here. I'm not going to, just for time's sake, you're going to say it. And normally the launch price is going to be $3,000. I would actually have a slide where it shows 3,000. And then forget
Yeah,
about
so in presentation mode, it's the first 3 lines with total value 10,000. When I click, normally 3,000. And when I click 997, and when I click all 2
that's right.
installments.
They're different
Okay.
slides. But if you see it all together, it's just like boom. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But I want you're building anticipation, you're building excitement. So yeah, so the launch price is $3,000. And then I just stop. And then what people do when I say the regular everyday price is $12,000, they've actually are like breathing and saying, okay, I can do that. I can do 12,000. So they're already getting prepared to pay the full amount. Okay. But I have a special offer for founders only. And then the next slide is today's price is not 3,000 and it's not $10,676. It's only $997, guys. Or, and then another slide, 2 installments of $597, whichever works best for you guys. And if that wasn't already enough, guys, I have some special fast action bonuses for the founders only. And this is only for 10 spots or 20 spots or 30 spots. You get lifetime access to the community and all future video updates. Okay. This is a value of $15,000, guys. So if you know, you know, and those who take actions are the ones who reap the benefits. Don't forget, don't forget the 100% ROI guarantee. If you don't make at least $1,000 in the first 6 months, which is basically your investment with our done for you solution, I'll keep working for you or with you for free until you do. And there's just a couple of, conditions here, because I'm just going to work for free if you don't show up and if you don't get on the weekly calls, if you don't post as I share with you the strategy. Obviously, you got to follow the program framework. Okay. So if you do all those things, then I will keep working with you, and I'm committed to your success to help you win. So everyone's been waiting, and thank you for staying till the very end. I'm going to give you guys a $97 Instagram account AI toolbox value, and it's 3 things. Number 1, the best AI prompts for the usernames, the best free online tool to come up with logos and brand colors, and number 3 is AI prompts to create the perfect bios. Okay, so what I'm asking for in exchange for that, and you'll get this after you send the video testimonial, is a 60-second video testimonial as to how the workshop today was, how it helped you understand how you can make this happen. What were some of the highlights? Would you recommend me to others? If so, why? And all you got to do is send it to the jmhbrand@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM and send the Instagram handle InstaMoneyCoach. Okay. So if that's you and you're going to send me a video testimonial in exchange for the AI toolbox, comment AI. So I just know that you guys are going to send me a video testimonial. Comment AI. Okay. I see there's 10 of you, 20 of you, 30 of you, 40 of you. Okay, great. This is going to be awesome, because once this blows up and this goes to the launch price, you guys are going to be laughing at how much of an incredible value and founders deal that you got. Okay. And when you're recording, just make sure that you're not walking around. Make sure you're in a quiet place with good light, and be yourself. Do you want it portrait or landscape mode?
Or any of them is okay.
Okay. And make sure you have a good quality resolution and good lighting. Okay. So let me just get right here because I got to jump on a call, but what's the call to action? So do you have a link? So I'm going to drop the link, guys.
Yeah, well, so that's what I will do. I was thinking after, when I give the price drop of 997, to already tell them, okay, I'm dropping the payment link for the 997 in the chat, so you can use it, use your email, and then I continue the presentation with on top the fast action bonus, etc., etc.
Yeah. So for those of you, there's like 100 people of you guys in this room, and we only have 30 spots. For those of you guys who want the founder offer, comment me. Right. And then you want to make, before you end the call, somehow, I know on Zoom, I just save the chat, so I know exactly who says me. On Google Meets, I don't know how it works. You make sure you have your Fathom in there, but even the Fathom won't track who said me in the Zoom, in the Google Meet chat. Unless you save the chat in Google Meets. I don't know if it should be able to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I think I can have it, but I don't know with what they will join. It's like Zoom, you can put a username, but you can put whatever username. It's not necessarily their email, it's not necessarily the Instagram username.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, you'll have to try to capture that somehow.
Yeah.
Whether it's a screenshot or whether it's just DM me the word me, right, to my Instagram handle right now. Maybe that's the best way. DM me on my Instagram handle right now, me, if that's you, right? And I would even say for the AI, if you guys want this AI tool, DM me right now on Instagram, AI. Right, and that will be my signal that you guys are going to send me a testimonial. Okay, and then I know exactly where to send the AI toolbox. Okie dokie. Okay, so I'm actually late for my call, so you guys know what to do here with the slides. And if you need any extra help, you know where to reach me.
Thanks. Ciao, ciao.
Okay.
So see you in 1 hour.
Okay, great job, guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.